Hello folks, Fuzz here and welcome to Octopath Traveler. This is a game I have wanted to show you for a long time and have just not got round to it. But today is that day. So this came out on the Switch, I believe it was last year, and it's also due out to be released on PC this year in just a few months' time in June 2019. And if you like Japanese role-playing games, particularly old-school Japanese role-playing games, then Octopath Traveler is definitely going to be a game for you. And I know for a fact that many of you on the channel already play and enjoy this game and have been asking for me to play this. So this is for you guys and for everybody else that finds these videos in time. Alright then, so without any further ado, let's hit that new game button. And I have played this game, but I've also deleted my save game, so I will be starting afresh for you folks with a new game here, and we'll see what it is that we're going to do. Now, one of the things that makes Octopath Traveler a unique experience, even within the world of Japanese role-playing games, is that most JRPGs will give you your hero, and you'll build your party around them. Octopath Traveler is unique because you actually choose your main hero, and as you go through the game, you can switch out to any of these other heroes and play their stories as well. So there's actually 8 heroes, 8 stories that we can play, and you can do those from whichever order you prefer. Now I'm going to be starting with Ophelia, who is, well, her path action is guide. That's a special ability that she has. Her class is a cleric, so she's the kind of priest class, healing class, but she also has some damage as well, and she can actually summon using her path action various guides that you have spoken to throughout the adventure. Now, I'm not going to say that she is the best class or the best hero to choose. It really is entirely up to you. If you're going to be following along with me, then I'd go ahead and select the same hero to start with, but if you're following along with me when more videos have been made, then you can choose whichever class you want to, and as I've done videos on all of these by that point, you can follow along with those in any order you want to do. Now, that said, there are a few things you should know about the class or the person that you choose to begin with, and that is, as far as I'm aware anyway, the hero that you choose first is the one hero you cannot remove from your party during the adventure. Okay, so they will be stuck with you in your party, whereas the others that you choose later can be moved in and out of the party as you wish to do so. So apart from that, there's no, as far as I'm aware again, no real advantage or disadvantage to choosing one particular hero over another at the start. So just go for whichever one takes your fancy the most. And as I say, for us that's going to be Ophelia. So without any further ado, we're going to begin her story now. And we're going to select yes. So this is, once again, Octopath Traveler. Hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, don't forget to leave a like. Thanks for all your support, and let's get started. You're going to notice as well, this game's got a beautiful 16-bit art style that's a little bit more modern than perhaps you would have encountered on an actual 16-bit system.
May the sacred flame light your path on this fine day. And may it ever shine its warmth upon you.
As you can see, there's a lot of laughing in this game.
Those words, and yet they seem to take on a whole new meaning now. Each day is one day closer to my departure. Perhaps I'm more nervous than I thought I was. Liana? You needn't worry about me. I was born to make the pilgrimage. My father did the same 20 years ago. As his daughter, I cannot let him down. You really are incredible, Liana. I don't know how you do it. What? As the Archbishop's only true-born daughter, everyone always expects so much from you.
So as we begin Ophelia's story here, we can see that she's sisters with this particular individual, Liana, although not technically full sisters since she was adopted, but as good as.
You never fail them. Each of your sermons is more inspiring than the last. And now the pilgrimage. So much is placed on you alone. Don't be silly. I'm not alone. I have you, don't I? And everyone at the cathedral. Why, you're the one who helped me think of a topic for that last sermon, Ophelia. You even stayed up nights with me to draft it. A willing set of ears and a few pretty words, that's all I could offer you. I wish I could do something that would truly help you. Oh, abandon such worries and come, my sister. Father is expecting us in the chapel.
Okay, so we actually get control at this point, and before we actually get any movement going, we get a bit of information about the radar. So yeah, there isn't a mini-map per se, but there is this radar, which is basically a circle, which you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, with various points of interest that are located on it, stamped on it. And as you can see, we've got this green marker which indicates the current objective. You can remove the radar if you want to, if you just want a nice clean interface here, if you know where you're going. But for the sake of convenience and for you guys watching, and for my own sake, I'll be honest, I'm going to keep this active for now. Right, so first things first then, all we need to do is move to the right, and this is going to kick off quite a lengthy scene. In the beginning, the 13 gods created the land. They shaped the mountains, filled the seas, gave life to mighty trees and myriad beasts. And then they created men, who would become masters of the land. Yet one god, Orsterra, was too greedy to part with his creations. And so the 12 deities of good were forced into a desperate struggle with the cruel Orsterra, lord of the most infernal magics. In the end, the conflict was brought to a close by Ælfric, the Flamebringer, lord of all that is holy. Ælfric called astral fire down upon Orsterra, sapping his strength. Slapping his strength would have been a bit interesting. Then sealed him away in the afterworld. A divine flame to chase the shadows. This is the sacred flame that shines down on the land of Orsterra, bringing warmth and guidance to its people. As you can see, I mentioned at the start, the art in this game is absolutely beautiful. I love it.
There you are, my girls.
Well, here we have Archbishop Joseph, father, of course, of the two sisters.
Your Excellency, may the sacred flame ever light your path. Have you need of us here, Father?
I wish to see you, that is all. Do carry on with your duties.
As you wish, Your Excellency.
It is as if the two of you have become women grown in but the blink of an eye. How long has it been, Ophelia, since you came to us?
15 years, Your Excellency, or near enough so.
15 years. I suppose it is little wonder that you have grown so.
I was but an orphan, Your Excellency, starving and sickly. I would not have lived to see this day if you had not taken me in. I may not have said it enough growing up, but my heart is full of gratitude for all that you have given me.
No need for such words, my child. We all follow the path the flame illuminates for us.
Come on, Feely. We're family.
father and I. There's no need to be so formal about it. Why should you have to thank us for being with you? That's what family's for.
Of course. You're right, Liana.
And besides, Father may be a great Archbishop in here, but we both know he's just an old layabout at home. Isn't that right, Father?
An old layabout? Oh, you wound me, Liana.
I know your duties at the cathedral keep you busy, Father, but honestly, you're no help at all when it comes to keeping a household running. Would it kill you to cook a meal or dust the bookshelves from time to time?
Oh my. When you put it that way, I suppose I am quite useless after all.
So even the great and beloved Archbishop falls short in the discerning eye of his daughter.
So it would seem, Ophelia. So it would seem. Now, tell me, Liana. Are you prepared for your journey to the Cave of Origin?
But of course, Father. I am ready.
In the deepest recess of that cave is where you will find the first flame. You will take the ember to the churches across the realm, where it will serve to light the sacred fires that warm and protect all the lands. This is the kindling, the time-honored rite held without fail once every 20 years since the days of old. Your journey will not be an easy one. As soon as you step foot into the wilderness, you will be met with lawless villains and savage beasts. Yes, many a servant of the church has made this journey throughout our history. Some have never returned. But I know you can do this, my daughter. Everyone has put their faith in you.
You have my word, Father. I won't let anyone down. I will carry out the rite, just as you did 20 years before.
Very good, my child. Very good.
Father?
Are you all right, Your Excellency?
It's nothing to worry yourselves over. Just my years announcing their advance.
Oh, you mustn't sound so gloomy, Your Excellency. There is still so much we would learn from you before we let you call yourself Archbishop Emeritus.
Ophelia is right, Father. Like she always is. You should retire for the day and let your body recuperate. We can handle things from here.
We will let the Pontiff know that you are resting in your chambers, sir.
When my two girls insist, who is this old man to deny them? I will leave the preparations for today's service to you.
We will take care of everything, Your Excellency.
I'll see Father back to his chambers.
Thank you, Liana. I will see to our duties here.
Okay, so Archbishop Joseph seems like a kindly old man and very much loved by his two daughters, although a little bit sick it would seem. And before we get control, we have yet another scene to take care of. This involving a child, apparently. Looking a little lost, it has to be said. Well, let's see what we can do to help. It's my mama. She's gone, and I can't find her anywhere. Come back, mama. Don't leave me here all alone.
Won't you come with me?
Now, let's dry those tears. Why don't I help you look for your mother? Oh, can you really find her?
Of course.
Of course, my child. The sacred flame will show us the way. Though I should be preparing for the service. Well, I guess a little detour never hurt anyone. I simply cannot abandon this poor boy. If I hurry, I should still be able to finish everything in time. So we get our first quest here. And this is actually going to introduce us to path actions. Now, we saw at the start when we selected our character that Ophelia has a path action of recruiting townspeople. And we're going to be able to put that into practice now. But only for a little while. So what we need to do is approach the little boy here. You can see he has this icon. Kind of reminds me of a chess piece, I'm not sure why. But we go ahead and select the path action button there, not the normal speak or talk button. And then choose the guide option. And we can choose to guide the boy. Really? You'll really help me find her? Of course we will. And with the path action in play, the townsperson will then follow us around. And later on, we'll be able to use this to recruit soldiers and what have you to help us fight in battle. Seeing as how Ophelia is basically a healer, she does have some damaging spells as well, of course. This is going to be a useful path action to really get to learn how to use. So this is basically what this quest is going to do for us. Now then that we've gone ahead and done so, we're going to make our way out of the church here. And soon we should come across, yep, an automatic cutscene, which will complete this path action
Mother.
thingy, whatever you want to call it, quest for us.
Young man. Oh,
Sister Ophelia, how can I thank you for taking care of this little troublemaker of mine? And you, how many times must I tell you not to wander off on your own?
Actually,
Pray do not scold the poor boy. He was so brave and good this whole time. Yes, walking from inside the
Thank
church
you
down
so
these
much.
steps was a very courageous act. You are too kind, Sister Ophelia. I know how busy you are with all your duties at the chapel. Thank you for helping me despite that. It is no wonder that the Archbishop is so proud of his two daughters. 2 daughters? Surely you must know that he is forever boasting of you and Sister Leanna both.
truly?
He does?
but of course.
Almost every time I speak to him. Come along now, you. Thanks, Sister Ophelia, then it's back home with you.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure, child, but do try to stay with your mother in the future, yes? And there we have it, the end of our first quest.
I see.
I will do all I can to be the daughter you would want me to be.
If I might.
Of course.
Might I be of some service, my good sir? Would you know where I might find His Excellency the Archbishop? May I ask who is looking for him?
Ah,
Pray forgive my lack of manners. My name is Matthias, a trader with the Leonal Consortium. The Archbishop has generously deigned to engage in a transaction of sorts with us.
Well then,
A trader? I see. It's an honour to meet you, sir. I am Sister Ophelia.
Oh!
So you are Sister Ophelia. I've heard so much about you. When the Archbishop contacted me to request my services, he spoke much of his 2 daughters. I also heard that Sister Liana will be the next flame bearer. The realm is blessed to have such loyal servants. It is, as a matter of fact, to equip your sister for her forthcoming journey that the Archbishop has summoned me here today. Is that so? We are much obliged for your support.
No.
Think nothing of it, good sister. It is the duty of the faithful to serve the Church, as the Church so tirelessly serves us.
No.
So, Sister Ophelia, you must come at once. Well, something's going on here. Whatever is the matter?
It's a disaster!
It's the Archbishop. His Excellency has collapsed.
But how could...
I will come at once. Master Matthias, forgive me for abandoning you when you have journeyed so far, but...
No.
Do not spare a moment's thought for me, sister. Pray, go to the Archbishop's side at once.
Forgive me.
I thank you for understanding, sir. Please excuse me. Yes, this doesn't sound good. He was coughing a little bit earlier on, wasn't he, the Archbishop?
Your Excellency! Ophelia, please! Please, take a moment to breathe.
Forgive me, Liana, but His Excellency...
What His Excellency needs most now is rest. Please try not to excite him.
Of course. Forgive me.
Anna?
Yes, Father?
The pilgrimage. The sacred flame.
Do not worry yourself, Father. I will perform the rite without fail, just as you taught me.
That is going to... Yeah.
Father? Father!
Worry not, Sister Liana. He is only resting.
Liana,
Sister Liana, are you not well?
I'm fine. I think I just need some fresh air.
Liana.
Yes, Liana's not doing too good at the moment.
She's trying to act strong
Neither's
before the
their
others.
father.
I worry for her. I should be by her side at a time like this.
Okay, so we do get control again at this point. Now, before we actually go ahead and leave the cathedral, there's actually a couple of items we can go ahead and nab. First of all, if we just head through the open way up here, we can grab a Herb of Valor. And then there's an item over at the right-hand side. So you can see items in this game, that was a healing grape, are basically found in chests. So very traditional JRPG looting system there. And then the final third item from this room, from the cathedral here, is the Inspirating Plum located on the left hand side. Okay, so basically now there's nothing in the other rooms, but you can feel free to go around and examine those should you want to. We're just going to go ahead here and leave the cathedral now, I think. And we're going to head south. This will take us out of the cathedral area a little bit and into the main area, I guess, the main town, which is called Flamesgrace. Now, one of the things you're going to notice throughout all of the game, in fact, is there's a lot of NPCs, especially around the towns and stuff, and if they have speech bubbles, you can generally talk to them, and they'll give you a little bit of useful information. Though normal white speech bubbles don't indicate that they're going to say anything that's going to advance the story or quest or anything in that sense. But hey, for the sake of completion, you might want to go ahead and speak to them all. Now, what we're going to do before anything else is use this device. This, as you may have guessed, is a save point. And since it's been about 25 minutes or so, this will be a good opportunity to save our game before we go any further. Now that we're all saved, we're going to go ahead and choose another player that will, another NPC that will be able to summon in battle using the guide command. So there's a couple of options. Not all of the players, I keep saying players, not all of the NPCs around here can be used as a guide. This one over here, this person is fairly powerful, townsperson, but I'm not going to select them, although that's certainly a valid choice. Instead, if we head up the steps here, all the way to the top, we can go inside the tavern, and we're going to go ahead and speak to one of the individuals inside, one of the patrons. This one here. So we'll go ahead and select Y. In fact, before we do that, just make sure, we are speaking to the tavern patron. And this is who we're going to select as a guide. And the reason for that is that, as you can see, tavern patron has the skill summon winds. And that is going to be useful a little bit later on down the line. Now, you'll notice that he's summonable 9 times. So once we've used him 9 times, called him 9 times in battle, then we won't be able to use him again unless we, of course, go ahead and use the guide command again. But also, he's not going to last the full length of battle either. I think they last a few rounds, at which point they'll run off again. So you can summon them multiple times in battle. But we're going to hold off on summoning, really, until a little bit later on when it's actually going to be needed. Okay. So he's going to follow us around now, as you can see here. And we're just going to go to the left-hand side. We should get a bit of a scene as we do so. And looks like there's somebody just hanging out up there, staring down at the cathedral from high above.
Liana, how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's Liana, of course. She's not doing too good after her father seems to have taken a turn for the worst, is she?
Ophelia?
Liana!
What am I to do, Ophelia? Father! My father is...
Liana.
Thinking about what might happen makes me feel so scared, so angry that I feel like my heart might just burst. But if I fall to pieces now, everyone will lose hope. I must be strong. And soon, I must depart on the pilgrimage. The rite cannot be put off any longer. There are centuries of tradition we must obey. But leaving my father behind, without even knowing if I'll ever see him again.
Don't despair, Liana. We are together in this. We will find a way.
Ophelia.
It has been 15 years since His Excellency took me in. My family lost in the war. I was left with nothing and no one to care for me.
Now then.
This is Liana, my daughter, your new sister.
Hey,
My name's Liana, but you can call me Anna if you'd like. Ah, Ophelia seems a little bit shy. What's the matter with her?
Oh.
Liana, I'm afraid that Ophelia has gone through something very sad. So let us see that she is cheered once more. Together, in the light of the sacred flame, we will find happiness.
yes,
Yes, Father, I'll be the best sister ever, Ophelia. She's still not saying much, is she? Still, a little bit of backstory as to when Ophelia was adopted there. My first days in the Archbishop's home, I kept to my room and spoke to no one. It was she who brought me out of my shell. Liana, my best friend, my sister.
hey, Feely, don't you want to go outside? Oh, I know. There's someplace I just have to take you. What? This way, up here. Where are we going? It's just a little further. Come on, we're nearly there. Here we are. What is this place? It's my favorite place in all the world. Maybe it could become your favorite place too. Hmm? It's beautiful. Isn't it though? That's why I love it here. Here, Feely. This is for you. So now, won't you play with me? Still no? Feely, are you crying? No, I'm not. I'm not crying. Good to hear it. We're going to be the best of sisters, Feely. I just know it. I'd like that too, Liana. Then it's settled. Oh, next time I'll teach you my favorite game, and then...
After I lost my family, I was convinced it was my fate to be alone and miserable for the rest of my days. But Liana brought me out from under that dark cloud and gave me the strength to start living again. That was a quaint scene, wasn't it? Something quite sad about it as well.
I'm sorry.
I will return to Father's side and stay with him as long as I can.
Yes.
Pray do that, Liana. He will rest all the easier, knowing you are with him. The Archbishop's illness weighs heavier on Liana than anyone else.
And yet...
She must hide that from all around her. Tomorrow she's to set out to gather the ember from the Cave of Origin.
In that case...
If I were to gather the ember in her place, Liana could stay by her father's side. Of course, I cannot bear to leave him either. And if someone else were to gather the ember, that same person would have to go on the pilgrimage and complete the rites. To say nothing of straying into that cave without the church's blessing, I'd get more than just a stern lecture, that's for sure. As I recall, the Cave of Origin lies within the foothills to the east of here. So yes, we've got our first quest, or major quest, so to speak. Get a bit of information there about saving, but we already know how to take care of that. And looks like the tavern patron was there listening in to the private conversation between the two sisters the whole time. Ah well, fair enough, fair enough. Before we head back the way that we came though, we can just take a brief detour into the various shops and whatnot that are scattered around the place, around the town. Here we can purchase some healing items if we wish to do so. And also the inn is over here. The inn, of course, is going to be useful. Well, not really now, to tell you the truth, since we're already at full health. But as with most inns in Japanese role-playing games, it's going to be useful for resting up and that as and when the time comes. Let's just see, that'll take us out of the area, so not going to be doing that anytime soon. And over here, finally, we have the weapon shop, or the armour and weapon shop, rather. And there's a couple of things that I'm going to recommend that you might want to check out. Now, you're going to have 2,500, what is it, gold, perhaps? I think it's gold, with that weird symbol. So, sadly, we're not going to be able to afford the good weapons that are available here, and some of them are pretty awesome, it's got to be said. Nice increase to various stats and stuff, although it'd be the rods that we might want to get. But I'm not going to recommend doing that now. You're better off actually stocking up on armour, since there's going to be quite a lot of incoming damage, especially early on as we start getting into the random enemy encounters and whatnot. If you want to save your money, you can do. You can technically get through the next area without too much trouble with just the equipment that you're currently wearing. But just to make things a little bit easier, this is what I'm going to recommend. Purchase a round shield. As you can see, nice boost to defences there. Oh, we don't want to buy 4. Just 1. 1 will do nicely. Yep, we'll go ahead and equip that on Ophelia, of course. And the other items that you might want to pick up are the pointed hat, as you can see. Also a nice boost to defences as well. And also elemental attack. So we'll go ahead and equip that also. And then finally, we'll have enough for the linen robe. Once again, a nice boost to our stats. A nice early boost as well. So we've got those equipped, sorry, yeah, to quite a high level compared to what they were a moment ago. And I don't think we replaced anything. We can sell some of this nonsense if we want to. Yeah, we did have the buckler before. And the ordinary hat, so I know we're only getting 10 gold for each, but may as well just tidy things up a little bit and get rid of those. Make sure you keep your healing stuff. You don't want to be selling the good stuff, trust me. And once we're done there, and we've got the summon guide, we're going to save and start making our way out into the wilds and be prepared for some battles as we make our way over to the Cave of Origin. Now you can see on the map, I keep saying map, I should really be saying radar, that we need to head over to the eastern side, the right hand exit. And this is it now, we're in a battle area. So we would like to make sure we grab all the items, so head south when you can. For the first chest, this one containing a healing grape. And then we're just going to carry on over to the east. And eventually, there'll be another chest quite close by. Yeah, I think I can see it. So that means we've got a random enemy encounter. And basically then, the way that enemies are going to work is that they're going to spawn with shields. And you can see how strong their shield is by the number that's located on it. So you can see that for this dude here, whatever it's called, it's got the number 1 on its shield, which means we need to attack it one time with something it's weak to, or vulnerable to, in order to break its shield. Then we'll be able to do a whole bunch of damage to it. One thing to note as well is that the battles in Octopath Traveler are turn-based. Okay, so it's a turn-based system. Like I say, it harkens back to the traditional days of JRPGs. I know that I make a lot of you happy. And the battle system itself has quite a few intricacies that we'll talk about as and when we need to use them, so that I don't overload you with information immediately. You can see it's got boost at the very top there by holding R down. That basically boosts the damage that we're going to be doing, but I'm not going to use that just yet. And we can actually boost that multiple times. In fact, I'll just talk about that for a moment. You can see under Ophelia's name at the top where her health is, there's like a yellow orb. That's basically how many times we can boost. At the moment, just once. But every time we go through a turn in battle without using boost, we can boost further on a particular turn in order to increase damage or healing, depending on what it is that we're doing. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and attack. And as you can see, it's weak to physical attacks, this enemy, so we've gone ahead and broken its shield. And so what I'm going to suggest now is pretty much what the tutorial said. We're going to go down to Cleric Skills. Holy Light is the spell that we have to do damage right now, or we could use Physical Attack. Either one is absolutely fine, but I'll show you Holy Light first. We can boost it twice now and cast that. And yeah, that's pretty much going to take care of that enemy.
I hope I grow more able.
So a nice easy battle to start off with there. And look at that, we're already well on our way to level 2. Now, we got a couple of bonuses there. First of all, because we killed the enemy while it was broken. And also, we got an extra bit of gold because we didn't take any damage. That's what the untouched thing signifies. And you can see JP, number 2. That's basically skill points. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. For now, we won't have enough to actually upgrade our skills in any way. So we just want to not miss out on this treasure chest here. Okay, just drop down on the other side. We'll be able to grab that. This one contains 600 gold. And what I'm going to recommend now is, just while we're in this area, go ahead and actually just learn enough skills so that we can go ahead and learn our first ability. But we're not going to be able to show you how to do that until we've actually learned the skills themselves. By the way, you can break the enemy if you boost and then attack. Even though it has 2 shield here, you'll attack twice and break it in one turn. But I'm not going to do that because I'd rather build up our boost gauge, our boost orbs, whatever they're called, so that we can unleash that holy light again in order to one-shot this guy. That's the plan anyway. So now I'll go ahead and boost holy light. And yep, get that out of the battle. You'll notice as well I haven't summoned our companion. Hey, level 2. That is, as I say, so that we can save it for when we need it, which will be a little bit later on. And yeah, I was just going to say, I can't show you about skills yet, because until you have enough skill points to learn your first skill, it's not an option you can actually see from the menu, unfortunately. So we can save down there. But before we do that, we're just going to explore for any additional items up here. There's bound to be something, isn't there?
Flame, protect us.
Now, this is a different enemy, caught by surprise as well. The reason we're at full health, by the way, again, is because we leveled up. You don't heal after every battle, unfortunately. Now, you can see this guy isn't weak to physical attacks, but he is weak, vulnerable rather, to the Holy Light ability. So let's go ahead and boost it once more. Take care of it. So, as you can imagine, most of your time in battles is going to spend alternating between, first of all, removing the shields of enemies, and then secondly, by using the boost command to do a ton of damage and hopefully clearing them out of the battlefield. Okay, no other items up here to loot, but that's fine. As I say, I just want to go around and just fight a few enemies until we have enough skill points to learn our first skill. We can go through the cutscene here though. The cave houses the first flame, the fire that Elphick himself brought down from the heavens. I must bring it back. And of course we'll grab the lone chest over here, this one containing an herb of clarity. And if you speak to the knights, they'll tell you it's very dangerous inside. So I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes killing enemies, getting some experience, until the game tells us that we've learned or gained enough skill points to learn our first skill.
I'll do my best.
So yeah, we already know that this guy's weak to physical attacks, don't we? And goodbye.
I hope I grow more able.
Okay, still not enough. Yeah, so I'm still in the process of just gaining skill points in order to go ahead and learn our first skill. But while I'm doing that, what I've decided to do is just take a brief detour back to town. Like I say, it's only a brief detour and we can carry on fighting enemies as we make our way back here anyway. And if we just stop into the weapon or the armoury, we should by this point now have over 800 gold. Doesn't take that long to build up, and that'll just give us the option to purchase the stone rod, which once again will be a nice boost to stats, especially to our damage, which is going to help us going forward, I think. So yeah, I'd recommend, you don't have to, but it would be an ideal thing to do, to just go back and purchase that stone rod. Okay, I guess you could also save up for the quartz rod if you wanted just a little bit more stats than the stone rod, but the stone rod should be absolutely sufficient to tell you the truth. And I'll just go ahead and sell the staff that we no longer need. And like I say, still haven't quite got enough to go ahead and learn our first skill, so I'll continue on getting the points needed for that. You can also stop by at the inn if you need to, but with the amount of levels you're probably getting right now, you'd be healing up quite quickly anyway, I would think. And there we have it. As soon as you've learned or gained enough skill points to learn your first skill, then this menu, or this screen rather, will pop up after battle. And it's really easy, the system, but obviously really powerful as well. So what I'm going to do is head down to the skills menu now, and we're going to go ahead and select learn skills. And basically you're going to have a choice. So you can see that we've got 32 skill points. I'm not 100% sure what JP stands for. Maybe somebody... Oh, job points, of course, that's what it will be. Job points is what they're called. So what we're going to do is go ahead and learn our first skill. Or rather, you know, our third skill, because we've got two by default, which are the two we've been using. Now, you've got a choice. You can learn these skills in any order, but you should note that every time you learn one, the amount to learn the next is going to go up. So what I'm going to recommend is learning Luminescence. And this is because it's an AoE based ability, and it will perfectly complement our Holy Light, which is a strong single target based ability, and Heal Wounds, which is a strong heal ability. So the one thing we're really lacking right now is that AoE effect. And especially in the next cave that we're about to go into, the next dungeon, there will be enemies spawning multiples at a time. So this is going to be a real useful thing to have. But you can go ahead and take a look at some of the other skills if you prefer. Really the choice is between Luminescence and Heal More. Now they're the only two I'd actually recommend. Heal More is a pretty darn good healing spell. But out of the two, I don't think Heal More is necessary right now. So I'm going to go ahead and select Luminescence. So let's go ahead and spend 30 of our skill points here. And as you can see, we're going to need 100 skill points now before we can learn our second, or our fourth skill rather. Our second skill to learn manually. But after learning our next skill, we'll also unlock a support skill, as you can see down at the bottom there, unlocked after learning 4 skills. Right now we have 3. So, at the moment I'm level 5, and having just leveled, I'm nicely healed up as well. That's pretty much a good place to be in, along with the equipment we've purchased and the skill we've just unlocked to make our way into this first real dungeon here. So use the handy save point outside, and when you're ready, and only when you're ready, move on within. So as we get close to the guards here, they'll warn us about the dangers that lie within this place. Please be sure that you are prepared before entering. Well, hopefully we're prepared. If this is not the first character you've chosen to play through the game, then the danger level will obviously be stronger than level 1. But pretty much the route is going to be identical. So we're going to start by heading over to the right. The dungeon itself is fairly linear outside of a few just detours, brief detours, such as the one to get this healing grape over here. We're going to continue on over to the right hand side. And an enemy that's still by itself. So you will certainly be getting more AoE enemies in this place, but not necessarily all the time, if that makes sense. So we're doing a nice amount of damage now.
I am not made for such battles.
And I still haven't summoned our friend in battle, but don't worry, we will be doing that later on. Right, at this next split, we're going to start by heading south. And this will lead us to another chest. And now you can see we've got some steps ahead of us, but we're actually going to ignore that. And you can see there's a chest over here that you can't kind of go to. That's because there's a hidden path above us there which we can run down. And that gives us access to the Shadowed Soulstone. And now all that's left is to head up this final path to the north. So yeah, you get your standard preemptive attacks and surprise attacks, as any JRPG veteran will no doubt already know about. I was hoping that would take it out. Probably should have just gone for another Holy Light. That's my own fault, trying to sash the MP situation there.
I'll do my best.
Right, this one should take it out now. The first attack will, of course, break its shield. Yeah, there it goes. Just stick to Holy Light in future. It's a nice, huge amount of damage. Yeah, it does cost a little bit of MP. But it just gets through the battle a lot faster for us then, doesn't it? Okay. So, you can see there's another chest up here. But we can't actually access it yet. Instead, there's actually a way that we can access it from behind one of the pillars.
I'll not be defeated.
I have collected it myself previously. I can't remember the exact pillar. But we'll find it. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Boost it up first. That's more like it.
I am not made for such battles.
Yeah, we're well on our way to level 6 now. Yeah, that's it. That's the pillar we want to go behind. So a nice simple path then. And this will give us access to a silver hairpiece. We can go ahead actually and equip that immediately. Yeah, it's actually more powerful than the pointed hat. So that was still useful for those enemy encounters that we faced up until this point. And basically all we need to do now is keep heading over to the left, and eventually that will trigger a scene for us.
I'll do my best.
And as you can see, once you do... That's the wrong thing there. Once you do go ahead and break a shield of an enemy, you'll stun it in place for the next round as well. So that's why it's possible to go through these battles without actually taking damage, if you can stun them in one round and then kill them on the next. Right, here's the scene. I've seen monsters before, but nothing like the creatures in this cave. Mayhap they protect the flame. Come to think of it, why do I feel as though someone or something is watching my every move? Right, so at this point we once again have control. We're going to go south at the next split here. There's a save point up there. but we're going to, of course, go ahead and grab the beautiful treasure here containing a refreshing gem. And basically, you'll see, first of all, there's an NPC over to the left-hand side. We can chat to this travelling peddler, and they will have a shop. So if we want to go ahead and purchase any healing grapes, we can do. I wouldn't do that, though, unless you've already been using some already up until this point. Otherwise, basically, going to save your game. We're going to have a boss fight coming up in a moment's time. So it's up to you whether you take the time just to gain the next level. Probably level 6, I'd imagine. And since we are so close to leveling, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Mainly because it will heal us up. At that point, we can go ahead and save. Right, so hopefully we're ready now. Just so you know where I'm at, I'm level 6. You can see my stats, and I've just hit leveled, so I'm nicely healed up. And now that we're ready, we're going to head north for a scene, followed by a boss fight. Of thee who dost treaden in these halls, I ask, art thou fit to lighten the flames and showen the path to all humanity? Yeah, what the heck?
What?
This voice. I am the guardian of the first flame. If thou wouldst call on thyself the flame bearer, thou must proven thyself worthy. Yeah, here we go. And this guy looks mean, doesn't he? This is an intimidating boss. Now, if you have the tavern patron, which hopefully you have if you've been following along, then his 6 shields are going to be a little bit less scary than they otherwise might appear. And the reason for that is he's vulnerable to wind, and our tavern patron, as we saw when we recruited him, has the wind ability. So we're going to go ahead and summon him, and he's going to be able to deplete a lot of this boss's shields for us. So just watch this in a moment when we get a chance to attack here. Yeah, summon wings. Bang, bang, bang. Down to 1. From 4 to 1.
I will not be defeated.
And we're going to go ahead and deplete his final shield. That will stun him. Do a nice bit of damage. With summon wind still. And he's going to run off in a moment. And we'll have to summon him again when he does. And now we're going to unleash a nice, powerful holy light.
Oh, sacred light.
643 points of damage right there. And some more summon winds. Not too shabby at all. And he's gone now. So we're going to want to go ahead and summon him back. With this upgraded shadow thing, we're going to have to be a little bit careful, because although it will skip its turn, it will do a countdown and unleash a ton of damage once that countdown has completed. So if we can defeat it, then that's going to be a bit of a bonus. Let's try luminescence. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's weak to luminescence, that thing. So we might have to just go through a few more attacks here. If we go ahead and use one of our boosts, we should be able to clear the shield at least. Now it's stunned, and now we'll do a lot of damage to it. Yeah, it's gone. Wonderful stuff. And the other thing's stunned now as well. So have we got enough to unleash a nasty holy light? We've got a level 3 holy light, we'll take that. And it's down. There you go then, guys. A nice easy boss fight. So long as you have this tavern patron. If you don't have him, then it can be a little bit more challenging, because you don't have an easy means of getting rid of the boss's shields there. You can have other guides which will help you do damage, but as far as I'm aware, he's the only one that can help you reduce his shield to a vulnerable element. And our reward is an inspirating plum basket and a shadow soulstone, along with some experience gold and job points, of course. So congrats, guys, if you managed to get that boss defeated quite simply like that.
This is...
The first flame of Elfric, the fire he brought down from the stars. It's so beautiful, as brilliant as the stars burning in the night sky. Ophelia, Thou hast been judged worthy to bear on thee sacred flame. Reaching out thine hand, and take in it Alfric's lanthorn. The lanthorn, this must be it. This is the sacred lantern used in the kindling, Alfric's lanthorn.
Liana.
Please forgive me. I must hasten back. At this point, we won't have to make our way out. Don't worry, we're going to skip back to the cathedral here.
Liana.
How is His Excellency?
Oh,
He's sleeping still, but he seems to be resting more easily now. Where have you been, Ophelia? Everyone was worried about you.
you see...
There is something I must tell you. My daughters.
Father? Your Excellency.
My apologies.
Do not look at me with such sad eyes, Liana. I will be well again before...
Father?
Yes.
I will be well again before long. But now is not the time for such worries. The right... She simply cannot bear it. Dearest Liana, here goes.
Your Excellency.
I must speak with you.
Yes.
What is it, Ophelia?
Yes.
I would go on the pilgrimage and complete the kindling in Liana's place.
What?
That's Alfric's lanthorn. Ophelia, you...
Ophelia.
Your Excellency. You are aware that it is a grave sin for one to enter the Cave of Origin without the Church's permission. I am, Your Excellency.
Ophelia...
But why?
Liana.
Leave us now. I would speak with Ophelia alone.
No!
Father,
Yes.
worry not. I will not be punishing your sister Liana, but there are matters we must discuss.
I understand.
Just don't be too hard on her, okay?
At least it would seem you came through your ill-advised journey in one piece.
I did, Your Excellency.
And I can assume you set out with no preparation to speak of. For all your quiet dignity.
I am sorry, Your Excellency.
Oh, Ophelia. I only hope that this kindness of yours will not be your ruin.
Your Excellency?
You journeyed to the Cave of Origin so that Liana might stay here with me, did you not? I will inform the Pontiff that there has been a change in plans, and that you will perform the kindling in Liana's stead. Speak with your sister, and learn what she has these many months. Your instruction will be abbreviated, but I know you are up to the task.
Your Excellency!
Your kindness brings warmth and light to all around you, Ophelia, just as does the sacred flame.
Your Excellency,
Ophelia, When I first took you in, I had a dream.
A dream, Your Excellency?
A dream of you, bearing the flame into the world. Looking back now, I realize it was an omen of what was to come. Liana is a fine daughter, my pride and joy. She has served as a daughter of the Church far better than I had any right to expect. But I know that it has not come easily to her. She has given up much of her true self to be who she must be for the Church. I have not yet told Liana, but I fear that I am not much longer for this world.
But Your Excellency, the healer said...
I trust that I know my body better than any other.
Your Excellency...
Oh, Ophelia. I am so proud of you and Liana both. Promise me that you will love one another forever.
Your Excellency, Father, please, please don't leave us.
Thank you, Ophelia.
Well, that was quaint.
And with that, I should be off. Do take care. Take care yourself. I think Father was looking a little better today, don't you? We nearly had to tie him to his bed. He so wished to be here too. It's good to know he's acting more like himself again. Ophelia, I owe you an apology. Whatever for, Liana? When I first heard that you would go on the pilgrimage in my stead, to tell you the truth, I was relieved. The thought that I could stay here with Father instead of worrying about the kindling? I knew you would be putting yourself in great danger, and yet... I was so happy. Can you forgive me, Ophelia? Oh, please. I am the one who should apologize. I have no right to be here and, well, here I am. I know that you only wanted to help me. And knowing that you will perform the rite in my stead makes me happier than anything. Thank you, Liana. And so my journey begins. To Saintsbridge, Goldshore, and finally back to Flamesgrace. Light the flames in each town. Perform the kindling as our forebears have. I'll be gone for a while. But if ever you or Father need me, pray send for me at once. Thank you, Ophelia. Really do take care of yourself, okay? Let us see how Saintsbridge and the Riverlands treats me. Till we meet again, dear sister. May the sacred flame light your path. And may it ever shine its warmth upon you.
And so the cleric set out on a journey never meant to be hers. She must complete the kindling, the holy rite carried out every 20 years, to be able to return to the beloved family she wishes to protect. Where will this unexpected journey lead her? Only the gods may know. And that pretty much brings us to the end of Ophelia's first chapter. So basically then, the way the game is going to work is that out of the 8 characters that we can play, each of them will have a 4-chapter story. Okay, a story split into 4 chapters for every single one of them. So Ophelia has now completed the first of her 4 chapters. We can basically go on ahead and start her second chapter should we want, but we're going to be a little bit low level in my view to do that. So instead we'll be going on to pick another character, going to meet another character and working our way through their first chapter instead. And pretty much we're going to complete that. So the first task that we're going to do is go through all of the remaining 7 characters that we can recruit, complete their first chapters, and then when we've got a full party, we're going to move on from there. But before we do anything else, we're going to go ahead and save at this point. And as you can see, there's a couple of orange stars on the map. But we're going to save, and then we're going to do a little bit of exploration with Ophelia before we go ahead and make our way to the next character. Now we're going to ignore some of those orange markers for now because they're side quests, but we don't quite have the path actions required to complete them yet. They come from other characters a little bit later on. Now you might want to go ahead and stay at the inn, since we won't have healed up automatically after the previous boss fight, and it's not very expensive. It's literally a couple of gold, well 12 gold, so a little bit more than a couple but not that much more. And then we're going to go ahead and exit over to the left. And as we go a little bit further to the west, we should get a brief scene, which will actually introduce us to the side quests of the game. And what I'm going to recommend is make sure you don't come out here until you, unless rather you have at least 1 healing grape in your inventory, as it's going to be required for this little mini side quest here. A monster came out of nowhere and it got me in the leg. I can hardly put any weight on it. Oh, I hate to be a bother, but do you have a healing grape to spare? Now, he's going to have a speech bubble over him. This is an orange speech bubble, indicating that this is a side quest that we're doing. So we're going to go ahead and speak to him. And go for the same dialogue again, at which point we're going to go ahead and select yes, give this person what they need. Oh, phew, feels good to be back on my feet. I can't thank you enough. I'd have been done for if you hadn't come along. My name is Kit. I'm on a journey to find my father. He disappeared when I was just a boy. Are you on a journey too? Perhaps our paths too will cross again someday. Be safe, and may your travels bring you all that you seek. Yes, I'm sure our travels will bring us back together at some point in the future. Then we'll get a bit of information about side stories, as they're known in this game, and we'll get our reward. A nice 1500 gold, so not too shabby at all, eh? Right, so once we've gone ahead and completed that, you can save if you want, but first of all I think we should grab the chest here, which contains a herb of clamour. Then we're going to go ahead and use the save points. Okay, and if we go to the sign now, we can read the sign. And you can do this multiple times throughout the game, depending on which location you're in, just so you can get your bearings. As I said, there's no real map to make use of, so signposts are going to be, you know, pretty much the way to go. And we've got Atlas Dam to the north, Flamesgrace, which is where we just came from, to the right, and then the Western Flamesgrace Wilds to Swarky over to the west. Okay, so multiple little locations. We're going to start heading over to the west. But before we go too far to the west,
Flame, protect us.
I think there's another chest.
My turn now.
Oh, miss, that's not good. So yeah, there's going to be some new enemy types for us to encounter here, including that fleeing enemy. So this is the chest. Another inspirating plum. And all we're doing at the minute is a little bit of optional exploration for some items and stuff. And of course a little bit of experience, which never hurt anybody, did it?
Well then.
Ah, this one of course is weak to holy light. So we have seen that weakness before, which is why it's already present under his vulnerabilities there.
Will not be defeated. Here I go. A
Let's just go ahead and finish this. Oh, I just pressed the wrong flipping button. Oh well. At least we're at full health now, aren't we? Not anymore.
I'll not be defeated.
Yeah, just make sure you pay attention when you select your abilities. Let's just screw up like I just did there.
My turn now.
We might be able to finish him off now with a single boost. Which is all we have available. Yeah.
I hope I grow more able.
Yeah, as we come close to the end of this episode, guys, as we complete this bit of exploration, be interested in hearing your thoughts so far on Octopath Traveler. I think it's a fantastic game, I really do. And I think you guys will as well. Especially those of you, of course, that are JRPG enthusiasts like my good self here. Follow the split over to the west still for another healing grape. And then we'll just continue following the path until another split.
I will battle. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. The flame guides us true.
Yeah, we're getting to level 7 in a few moments, I would think. Right, so here's the split. We're going to go down this path. This is where the treasure chest is located for a Shadow Soulstone. And as we start to go west, there should be a treasure chest below us. I haven't seen it just yet.
Flame, protect us. I'll do my best.
So 1 or 2 more enemies should see us leveled up.
My turn now. Oh, sacred light. I am not made for such battles.
Yeah, there's the chest. So we'll just head round to grab that. And you can see on the map already that there's going to be another save point just coming up in a moment's time. So I guess we can go ahead and save at this point as well. Just keep saving whenever you see save points. But that's pretty much it for the items. I guess we'll go ahead and
There is
level
no
up here.
choice. My turn now. Oh, sacred light.
Just make sure you pay attention to the enemies that you're fighting, so that you can keep on top of the weaknesses, the vulnerabilities, etc. That way you'll just clear out battles quickly then, won't you? And we should level up after that one.
I hope I grow more able.
Level up and heal up. Yeah. So hopefully you guys will be staying around the same kind of level that I'm at. And if we go ahead and check the sign once more, we can see that we'd need to go over to the west to reach Swarky. But I'm not going to worry about that. By the way, this cave, you don't want to go in there. Look at the danger level of it. Level 25. Right. Want to avoid that. So we've grabbed some items up until this point. So what we're going to do now is head over to the map. And then we should be able to make our way over back to Flamesgrace automatically. Because we visited it before. So all we need to do is go ahead and select it. And then fast travel, and we haven't got to make our way back. But of course we do get to keep all those items that we've just gone ahead and grabbed. Okay, so we can't fast travel back to these other places, unfortunately. But once we go ahead and access the other towns and that later, such as Swarky, or wherever the case may be, we will be able to do so we can traverse the world a little bit faster at that point than we otherwise would. So we're not quite done yet with our exploration. Just go ahead and save once more. We're going to go ahead now and leave the town exactly the same way as we did before. And head to the stairs once more. Or down the stairs, I should say. And just follow the path. All the way to the save point. But this time we're not going to go the way that we
There
went
is no
previously.
choice.
This guy probably went away again. He did last time, didn't he?
Well then,
Yeah. We'll miss. He'll run away.
I am not made.
Need to find out who that guy is. There's probably a way of killing it or something, isn't there, that I've missed. So there's a chest over here. This one contains an olive of life. And this is the last chest we're going to grab now. Because if we continue over to the east, we're going to enter the next region for our next character. I was going to show you the path to Cyrus in the next episode, but I think it's important that we do it at the end of this one. Then we can just concentrate on his story next time. So once we head over to the east exit, we'll enter the North Amsterdam flats. And the path is quite linear. You're going to notice, of course, there are a bunch of treasure chests all over the place. But that's absolutely fine. We'll be leaving those for the time being, as a matter of fact. And we're just going to follow the path. And we'll collect all of the treasures once we've completed Cyrus's chapter 1, and then we do his exploration just as we did with Ophelia a few moments ago. So let's find out what this pig thing, is the only thing I can use to describe this thing as, is weak to, and apparently that's physical attacks.
I'll not be defeated.
Some interesting enemies in this game, but as you can see, as we enter each new region, we're going to be embraced by new enemy types, which is pretty fun. And making our way down to Cyrus's city is a great opportunity as well, in my view, just to maybe grab an extra cheeky level or something. So if we can get to level 8 by the time that we get to Cyrus, then that'll be a bit of a bonus, I should think. And we'll just enter into the next area. There are going to be enemies now that are grouping up in pairs as well. So this is the final area before making our way over to Cyrus. So you might want to spend just a little bit of time doing some grinding. You do get enemy spawns in this particular area as well.
Flame, protect us.
More pigs, it would seem. Now, there are stronger enemies as well. Okay, so I've gone ahead and leveled to 8. I've also learnt the heal more ability, since I had enough skill points or job points for it. And I've also equipped the persistent support skill, just because it's the only one I've got right now. And now we can go ahead and enter the town of Atlasdam proper. And as you can see, it's a nice little town here. We've got a save point there. And if we start to head north, we'll be able to reach the place where we'll be able to speak to Cyrus and actually begin his story, his first chapter. So we are going to finish things there for now then, guys. Thanks ever so much for all of you that have stopped by for the episode today. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of Octopath Traveler in the comments below. Personally, I can't wait to get into this game, and I hope you guys will be joining me along for that as well. But have a fantastic day, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.